Salut, you guys. What's up? It's Jari. Hope you guys are doing very well today. I wanted to jump on and try to continue my story with you guys. So we've already covered when we first met, and one of the very first conversations that I had with my mom when he and I first met, and the whole energy and the vibe and everything that was going on. It started off in a very deceitful place, that I thought we were in a good place, but I did not. But I had the feelings and the energy, the emotions, and I just didn't listen to him. So we're just going to take it a little bit further from that. So we've already met and we've been hanging out for a while. Now he's basically living with me. Still, I don't know that he doesn't have his own place to stay or go. He's just not, he hasn't left yet. And it's under the premise that we are getting together, as you know, we're trying to make it work as a couple now. And remind you, it's only been maybe like a month, maybe two. So we're still very early in our relationship, you know. And at this point, so he's starting to wear my clothes. And I didn't have a lot of money to buy new clothes and things like that. So everything that I had, I really tried to take really good care of because I didn't have a lot of money. Again, I didn't have a car. I had my own place at the time. I had my own, like I had a job, but I was really struggling because I had just left a relationship and I was basically starting completely over by the time that I met this new person. So I didn't have a lot of money to keep buying clothes, but he would wear my clothes. He started to wear my clothes, and he was bigger than me at the time. And so he would stretch my clothes out. He would stretch my shirts out, my pants. He would break my belts. He would force his feet into my shoes and bust out of my shoes. But then when he would do these things, and when these things would be a result of him wearing them, and he would blame it on me, like I wasn't taking like good care of my stuff, or I had already worn it out to such a degree that it was just waiting to break or to bust. I remember one time specifically walking from a bus stop. He met me at the bus stop that day. He liked to do little things like that to make himself appear a lot better than what he was behind closed doors. So he met me at a bus stop one day getting home from work, and he had on a pair of my dress shoes. With the job that I had at the time, I had to wear like business casual every day. So I had to have my button ups, you know, my polo shirts, my clean slacks, my nice fitting slacks, and my shoes, my dress shoes. And you know, dress shoes don't normally give a lot of leeway in the way that they stretch. You know, they're normally really tight, snug, professional, you know, sexy looking, you know. And I remember walking from the bus stop, and he had on one of my shoes, a pair of my shoes that I wore to work. I remember they were gray loafers, and they were really nice shoes. And I remember him walking, and he would walk to where the weight placement on his foot would be on one side more than the other. And I watched my shoes rip apart as he was walking down the street in front of me. And we had already had a conversation. And he had gotten mad that I even brought it up, that he was destroying my clothes. And so I'm watching this happen and knowing that if I say anything at all, it was going to be a huge problem when we got home. So I didn't say anything. I just threw them away and went about, you know, trying to wear the shoes that I had left over, because that wasn't the first pair. He was wearing my shoes to play tennis in, to work out in, like whatever he wanted to do in. And then when they would break, it would be my fault. Like I had done something to the shoes or to the article of clothing that he was wearing. So it was just a lot of that. And then also around the same time, same early part of the relationship, I would say 3 months in at the max, 1 to 3 months in, I started noticing that he wasn't really looking for a job, but he was spending a lot of time on Facebook. And I noticed that one day I was home and his Facebook page was up, and I realized that he had a bunch of male friends as his friends on his Facebook page. He has some family members spread out in there somewhere, but it was mostly guys. And I just found that very interesting because that was not the case for me and not really the case for anyone else that I knew. And I couldn't understand why he spent so much time on Facebook when he should be working and looking for a job. And it was just strange, or it was interesting, I would say, that he had so many male friends on Facebook. Like most of his friends on Facebook, and there was thousands, were mostly men, which was super interesting to me. Um, so yeah, so that's going to lead into the very next thing. So we got into our very first physical altercation right after that, right after I approached him with or when I told him about the questioning that I had and my insecurities that I had with him being on Facebook and talking to so many different guys that I did not know. And like, I realize we all have a past, but I feel as though if you're trying to move forward in a relationship, you're actually trying to build a relationship, it's important to have an open book, to be an open book, to establish trust and love and things like that, and to build that foundation. And because we started out so early in our relationship, already like based on a very rocky foundation, it was extremely important for me to try to build that foundation up while we were still early enough in the relationship, not just gloss over things, because I had already been there. I've already experienced a relationship to where my partner was cheating on me, even though, it was my very first relationship. This was my second, and I was still learning. I was already very self-aware and knew that I was not going to allow myself to go through all of that again. And he would always talk himself out of it and would just pull the wool over my eyes. But the very first time that I approached him with it should have been an indication of what the future was going to be like with him. Because I will say again, after I approached him with this, it was our very first altercation shortly after that. So stay tuned for that.